Let me stay with you. In us, can you? Just one night. I know I owe your life, but tell me 'cause we still have time. I can't say I can't help you, but do you feel the same, don't you? I think of you.
All right, so here we go. This is what we've been waiting for. This is the full interior. So everything's nice and individually boxed. Looks like they put both Recaro seats. Must be top to tail in this box. This box is extremely heavy. And then this must be the rear bench because this is all one piece. And then this must be the two back pieces. And this large piece here must be all the door panels. So everything is all present and correct. No damage. Everything was nicely stacked up on this pallet. So chopped it down. Got it all in the truck, so it's time to get this home and get it unloaded. All right, so first step is going to be to give these a clean up. You can see on the driver's side seat there's some discoloration right here where the leg must have been brushing against it from some darker colored pants. So I have this Lexol all leather cleaner spray. So according to the instructions, you just basically apply, massage into the fabric and then wipe off with a damp cloth. So I have two cloths. One of them is one of those Adams borderless ones. I just made it slightly wet, and then this will be my agitation cloth. So I'm going to test for color fastness first. So I'm just going to try it on an inconspicuous area down on the underneath of the front here, and just make sure nothing strange happens. And then I'll have to be careful not to get onto the onto the Alcantara here. Just keep it to the body of the leather. So, yep, we'll see how we get on here. All right, so first seat has been wiped down on the leather. This seat has not yet been cleaned. And so there is a definite difference. You can see here how the black, it's not in any way shiny, which was very important to me when I was choosing to get a leather cleaner. It's a nice, rich, matte finish. No added oils. And the red definitely has more vibrancy. You can definitely see it. You can definitely see it between the two seats. You can see how the right hand seat, the red really pops, and in contrast this one looks darker. So definitely good result with the cleaner. I'm going to keep on going, and once both front seats are clean, I will then start with the process of the rear seats. All right, so moving along well with all of the cleaning. Everything's in really good condition actually. I'm very pleased with it. The only single mark which I was aware of before I purchased the seat set was this little impression mark here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my heat gun and I'm just going to carefully heat this a little bit and just kind of try and relax the leather a little bit and see if I can improve it. Be careful not to overheat it, and see if I can get this improved. So I'll do an after photo screenshot in a minute. What do we have here? Oh boy. Look at those. How do you like that? Not bad, eh? And what about these? All matching. Boom. Okay, I am going to attempt to upgrade my seats in my C450 AMG. This is a 2016 model. And as you can see, I have the regular, what you would call sofa style seats. I already removed one of the side trim panels, so I can kind of see how the seatbelt attaches right there. And so what I managed to get is a complete takeout interior from a 2016 C63 sedan. So excuse the mess, but yeah, I've got the whole thing, front and rear seats. I have all the door panels as well. So I have everything I could possibly need to get this interior looking perfect. So I already did move this seat backwards. I've now got to get the Torx bit, access the bolts to unscrew this, and then we'll see once we get the seat out. So let's give it a shot. All right, so the front seat is now fully loose from the car. I went ahead and removed all 4 mounting screws, 2 from the front and obviously the 2 from the rear, which are those kind of star-topped, star-shaped topped bolts, and then disconnected all of the various electrical plugs from the underside right here. I took a photo just to make sure that I got everything back the right way, but there is some color coding on top of the large connectors. And I also moved the seat back to a central position and also made sure it wasn't reclined at all to make it easier to pull out of the car, hopefully, and then also easy to store, because obviously once it's disconnected you can't move the seat anymore. So yes, I've got a towel ready, so hopefully this is going to protect the sills from getting scuffed, and I'm going to try and maneuver this seat out of the car carefully. So here we go. Little tidbit of information. I found it really hard to access this bolt for the seatbelt attachment point. So what I did was, once the car was fully loosened, I went ahead and just kind of slid it forward, made sure the electrical cables were free from the underside. There is actually a push-in clip which holds the wiring loom against the bottom of the seat. So I just popped that off and tucked the wiring neatly away under here so it doesn't get damaged at all. And that allowed me to now reach this single bolt for the seatbelt attachment right here on the side, and then that way you can access the pre-tensioner and then pop off this little clip right here, and that should then allow the seat to be removed from the car. So finally figured out the bench part. You have to snap upwards as a push-in snapper on each side, and then you have to actually push it backwards to uncouple the little hinge hooks on the back here, and then pivot it up and the whole thing lifts off. So no screws, no bolts. And now, hopefully, I can access bolts that will allow me to remove the backrest portion. So, here we go. All right, so conversion is kind of looking pretty good. Got the 2 side pieces obviously done. The middle piece is different, actually. I didn't think it was originally, but this is smooth leather, whereas the one I took off is actually a grain texture. So this is important so that it matches the rest of the leather on the surrounding seats. And one thing I chose to do was, you see obviously I have red seat belts everywhere, was I chose to leave the black seat belt on the middle portion so that when this is in its position down here, it doesn't kind of break up the middle bit. I don't know if I want a red seat belt coming down the middle of the seats. I prefer it to kind of blend in like that, as I do have black leather pieces that snap in on the sides here, so the red side belts are kind of tucked away, and I prefer how that looks as opposed to having a bright red stripe coming down them. So, yep, all's moving along. Get the rear bench all finished up, and then I just need to move on to the door panels. So here we go. All right, so I'm kind of in the middle of the install. Spent the majority of today doing this. So I have all the seats in. As you can see, look at that. Oh my lord, big things happening. As you can see, original door panel, new door panel, how'd you like that? And then obviously, oh my lord, how'd you like that? Bam. So everything matches. Money. So there we go. I'll send you a pic once it's all done. So here we go, the finished product. So these videos are a little bit backwards because I already had created the footage of my seat install before I actually launched my YouTube channel. So that's why in the more recent videos you'll see she already has the seats in there, but this video has been a couple months in the pipeline, and definitely I will say hands down is my absolute favorite thing I've done to the car. Before having this car, I actually had a Mustang, and I also did a Recaro seat swap on that car as well during my ownership, and without a doubt that was also the favorite thing that I'd done to the car. Just totally changed the whole driving experience, and it was something that I had in my mind before I even purchased this car, was that if I couldn't find one that had the performance seats, that I was going to source an interior at some point. and I managed to do so in a relatively short period of time. Took me about 8 months of searching to find this interior, so not too long. And like I said, absolutely 100% worth the expense and worth the effort. I won't go into the cost. It might scare you to tell you how much I spent on that interior, but let's just say you could buy a nice set of 2-piece forged wheels and put tires on them for similar money. But it was a price I was willing to pay to get the car set up exactly the way I wanted. And as you can see from the previous video in the sunlight here, the new VS forged wheels are looking so good. I am absolutely loving the new look. So let's take a look at the interior. Let's pop this thing open. The sun is out. You'll also notice I have a custom steering wheel staring right at you. That will be again in a future video. That was installed shortly after I got my interior changed out. But it's just such a night and day difference. I mean, it just completely feels like a performance car now. These are the same seats that you get in the AMG GT, and oh my goodness, I just love the shape of them. I love the profile of them. I love how they kind of have that kind of slim kind of back to them. It just looks so good. And I love the brushed inserts around the seat belts. So nice. And the AMG emblem in the middle. The seats cleaned up really well. These are in exceptional condition. No bolster wear. You know, typically you would have wear across the side of these bolsterings where you would brush over it getting in and out of the car. Same for the lower pad. Most notably, you would find this on the driver's side seat, but both of these are in fantastic condition. And with the matching red door panels. These carbon fiber door pieces, these are not standard Mercedes parts. These are also custom ordered. I ordered them along with the steering wheel. Again, that'll be a future video so that you guys can get the full lowdown on these. For those of you that are wondering why I have these beautiful carbon fiber inlays, which are not standard at all. And in my opinion, the back looks just as good as the front. Just having this crazy hard shell back to the seats, and I love the profiling of them. Anybody who is even slightly considering upgrading to these seats, I wholeheartedly recommend it. You will not regret doing it. It might hurt your bank account for a little bit, but it's certainly worth it. Certainly worth it. If we take a sit inside here, you'll see I also have an original C63 carbon fiber center console. I actually sourced that used, and it was imported from Europe. Has the ambient lighting to match my car, and I also had some custom real carbon fiber air vents made so that it all matched. I kind of preferred having the whole thing in full carbon because those vents were originally silver. And those were ordered through the same company that I got my steering wheel from, which again, I'll do a separate video on the steering wheel and on the door panels and on all of the little details I had made in carbon, including the center console vents. But that's a great looking view. Certainly a nice place to be when you drive in the car. Everything cleaned up so good. So pleased with everything. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this little install video. I tried to capture it as much as I could. I was excited to install them, so I did kind of motor on through the process. And I didn't notice until after I'd already created the videos that the aspect ratio was wrong. Hence all these other videos of the actual install have those black bars up the side. Unfortunately, it was too late. I'd already got the seats in, and I tried adjusting them on YouTube and on my desktop computer, and it was doing something weird where it was kind of like zooming in on the picture in order to achieve the 16:9 aspect ratio. So I figured, you know what, I'm not going to mess with them. I'll leave the videos as they are, and people can still still see them, you know, pretty good video despite the aspect ratio being, you know, a little bit off. So that wraps it up. Performance seat install complete, and I had no issues whatsoever with the compatibility. I would say that that was my main concern going into it. The passenger side seat is the only issue that I possibly would have come across. In some years, they actually updated the weighting sensor for the passenger presence, so the car won't activate or have the airbag ready to go on in case there is a passenger sitting there, and would cause an airbag light if it wasn't matching to what the car is coded for. I got lucky. These seats were out of a 2016 car. My car happens to be a 2016, and I think I just got lucky that these were a plug and play install. I did not need to go through the drama of taking out the sensor from the passenger side seat base, because that would have been a ton of work to do that. I would have had to drill out rivets and pull the whole bottom end pieces to pieces. So I'm certainly glad I did not have to do that. All right, enough waffling. I've enjoyed making the video for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed watching it, and I'll be back again with more videos soon.